Hi there, Adam Parsons here. I'm telling this story in as close to the correct sequence as possible. Around this time last year, I met up with a young woman to check out a haunted house, one of those advertised, kind of halfway professionally set up deals. Now keep in mind I am a bit of an effects junkie. I love any kind of rigged effect or imitated noise or costume or anything like that that makes something ordinary seem like something great. When I was a kid, this would have scared the hell out of me, but now I'm too interested in seeing how it's done to really be scared. So the first attempted scare was this creepy girl who, if she'd kept quiet, might have got to me. Her makeup made her look kind of almost like a cave woman or something, but she was really small and skinny and she moved around in this really strange, supernatural kind of animal way. And it was really, really creepy, and it was topped off by this noise. It was a great noise. But that was the thing. It was such a great noise. I was more impressed by this human girl that could do all these things and make this noise to be scared. So I complimented her on it and moved on to the next room. Next up, there was this guy following along, whispering something along the lines of get out or you don't belong here or something like that. And he was on my right side, and I have been nearly deaf in my right ear since birth. So he's over here whispering, and all I see is this guy just going at me. And so I can't be scared of that. So I tell him, dude, you gotta speak up. And it kind of dampens the effect when you have to tell the monster to project. So a few rooms later, we had walked past tons of scary people with jump scares and special, makeup and great costumes. Had this great hydraulic monster just stretch out over our heads. And, the sets were really well done. I mean, for what they had, which was just like sort of a, it was like in a strip mall. And so they had this space, kind of like you'd have, who knows what it was before, it was empty and they used it for this. But, they put the Halloween stores in them sometimes. It's like that. And so, for what they used, it was fantastic. And they decorated it really well. They had these walls, temporarily put in. And so, these great sets as we walked through. And it didn't take them long. I'm grinning like an idiot the whole time, taking a good look at everything, trying to figure out how it was done and just enjoying the whole thing. So it didn't take them long to pass on the word just to focus their scare tactics on my friend rather than me. So I was feeling like a badass. I was like, all right, I'm going to make it through this and nothing's going to get to me, And it would have been true, but I didn't actually get scared of this one thing. Don't get me wrong, my adrenaline was up here, but I was too busy noticing all the things that made it good to be scared. So, but then we hit the strobe light room. Now I have a hard time with strobe lights anyway. I just don't like to. If I have something else to look at, I'd rather not focus on the strobe light. If I'm in a room with a strobe light, it's not the worst thing in the world. But they had this design, this sort of vertical, tilted, zigzagged, black and white design on the walls that made it look like the room was tilted and kind of moving. The floor was a section of the establishment that had sort of a black and white checker floor too. It was really well placed for what they were attempting to do. But with the strobe light and the zigzags, I had a real hard time with my equilibrium. Keep in mind, I make up for half my equilibrium with my sight. And so I was just having a hard time not falling over. I wasn't scared. I was just completely, blindsided by the effects, by the visual effects in this room. On top of that, there was this noise in the background, so it was hard to hear each other. And so I'm slowly I've got my hand on the wall, and I'm kind of walking along, trying to get through the room without falling over and hitting my head or something. And I try to tell my companion that, and I'm like, just bear with me, I gotta get through this room my way. And she's urging me on because there's someone following us, and it's this creepy guy in a costume and a top hat or something like that. And he's, shambling along. And I'm just thinking to myself, great, if I fall over and hit my head, there's someone to help me out. You know, because she's too busy getting scared. When, you know, I'm just like, can't find my way out the room. So after that debacle, there are a few more rooms. None of them really stand out in my head except for this one hallway that may have been before that, so I'm not going to worry about that. It was just this guy at the end that I was expecting to scream and he didn't, so, you know, way to pass him a chance. But we made it through that. A couple other rooms, and then there was this room that was supposed to make it look like we had got outside, and then there was this little path that led back around to supposedly a shack that there was this axe-wielding maniac supposed to live in, and stuff like that. You know, it was just almost, I almost felt like it should have been dressed up more like the parking lot. You know, I kept expecting that. I kept expecting an outside room to be almost convincing that you were going to be outside, but there wasn't. And that was disappointing when we finally got to the end and we finally got outside. I was just hoping maybe, you know, from this angle, the way I'm viewing the door, that's a fake room. No, it was outside. But anyway, we get up to this fake facade of a shack, and the door on the shack was too small for the frame, and I saw the guy on the other side through the crack, and so I knew it was coming. You know, I mean, plus it was a closed door, you gotta expect something. So this huge man comes lumbering out of the shack, and I just stand there, because I saw him coming, you know, I knew he was gonna open the door, so I just stood there and waited for him, and he had to, like, stop, he was like, and he had to, like, pull back, and, you know, you're not gonna barrel over a paying customer, come on. So he, you know, held the door open, and we went through, and there was this creepy kitchen and a few other things, and then we were outside. And I was hoping that outside, you know, the angle we were at, the little bit of outside you could see, I was hoping that would be another set, but no, it was outside. Then we ate at Red Robin's and parted ways. I've only been to, you know, 2 or 3 haunted houses in my life, not counting the little chintzy ones that they used to try to do at school when I was in elementary school. This one was definitely the best. This was hands down the best haunted house I've ever been to. And it's a shame that, with the exception of the strobe light room that didn't scare me as much as it just debilitated me, with the exception of that, I enjoyed it too much to actually be scared. What's the best haunted house you've ever been to? See y'all next week with a new episode of the Alien Vlogs. Hope y'all had a great Halloween.